Hello, dear students. Welcome to Supergrads. My name is Brinda, and today in this session, we will understand how should you analyze the IPM mocks, especially the verbal ability section. Now, before we delve deep into the subject, why don't we understand why is writing the mock important? Now, see, writing the mock is as important as your preparation. So, when you prepare, you feel that you've understood things. But when you write a mock, you're actually able to gauge your preparation through your scores. Now, writing the mock will help you understand the level of your preparation. You will be able to identify your strengths and your weaknesses and probably able to work, you will be able to work on them. Now, analyzing the mock is as important as writing the mock. So, just writing the mock doesn't give you the picture. It doesn't tell you anything. You just write the mock, you get exhausted, you go home and you relax. But then when you analyze the mock, you actually get to see where you stand. So, analyzing the mock is super important because it will help you understand your strengths and weakness. You'll be able to chart the future course of action. You'll have your doubts clarified and you'll know what areas you need to work on and what areas can be fine polished. Now let's understand how should you analyze the mocks to make the most out of all the effort that you put in for preparation and to write the mock. Now, to analyze the mock, there are certain things that should be borne in mind. Number one, you should have a dedicated notebook. So you're done writing the mock, you've submitted all the sections. Now, before you leave the center or before you get up from your seat, probably you could make a note of the learnings that you had during the mock because even after 10 minutes, even after the lapse of 10 minutes, you'll forget most of the things that you could think of while writing the mock. Now, the learnings could be the kind of mistakes that you made in a particular mock. Now, sometimes it so happens that we spend a lot of time on a certain section. We don't realize it instantly, but we do eventually. So, when you want to make a note of the learnings, you can write what all mistakes you made. So, probably spending a lot of time on a certain section, probably focusing more on wild guesses for vocab based questions, or probably not feeling confident enough in certain rules of grammar. So later on, this may not stay with you, but if you make a note of the learnings there and then, you will be able to work on them and improve in at least those areas in the next mock. So make a note of all the learnings. You could even write what all good things you did. So probably your selection you thought was strong. So whatever you think went right or wrong during the mock, it's important to make a note of those. It will actually help you do better in the next mock. The second thing is a comparative analysis. Now, what do we mean by this comparative analysis? So it's understood that you will not write just one mock. You'll write a lot of mocks in the course of your preparation. So when you write the first mock, you could, again, like I said, maintain a dedicated notebook, make sections in the notebook. So topic, correct attempts, incorrect attempts, and probably learning. Maybe you could add a section or two on your own if you feel that's important. Now, you could write the name of the topics that frequently appear in the mock. So maybe in the case of verbal ability section, reading comprehension passages, grammar, parajumble, paracompletion, vocab, and then again subsections. So confusing words, idioms, phrasal verbs, and any other thing, fillers. So all sorts of things. Now, comparative analysis means let's say you wrote mock one. Now, RC section, there were probably 12 questions out of which you could attempt only eight, and you could not attempt four, or probably four went wrong. So just write those numbers here in the sections. And what learning did you have? So probably all the vocab based questions in the reading comprehension section were wrong, or probably all the direct questions were right, all the inference questions were wrong. So make good, whatever your learning is through that topic. You should make a note of that. Probably confusing words out of five, you could attempt only three because you could not understand the meaning of the other two and you left it. Or probably you misunderstood the meaning of the other two and you got those wrong. So whatever is happening in a mock, make a division, say topic wise division, and whatever your learning is through this. Now, when you write the second mock or the third mock or the fourth mock, you will actually see a pattern or probably the topics that you're good at and your weaknesses. So probably you realize that confusing words, oh, for the last 3 mocks, I've been getting most of my confusing words wrong. Or probably I am not able to understand the idioms even now. Or probably my phrasal verbs aren't as strong. So once you start maintaining a record in a very systematic manner, you will be able to do an analysis and you will be able to identify your strengths and your weaknesses and you will be able to work on them accordingly. This can be a very effective method to see a pattern of your mistakes and even your strengths. The other thing that is really important while analyzing a mock is the time that you spend on a certain section. Now, see, since these tests are conducted online, the mocks are conducted online. So there is this feature in most of the tests that you will be able to see how much time you spend on a particular question. Now, see, in the verbal ability section, you will get 40 minutes to deal with 45 questions. That means, ideally speaking, you don't get even 1 minute per question, but we all know that that's not possible. So, what we do, we divide the paper accordingly, we divide the time accordingly. Now, there are certain sections in the test which do not require a lot of time. Maybe the vocab based questions. So, you'll say maybe the idiom based question, maybe the phrasal verb based question, maybe the confusing word based question, maybe the grammar questions. Now, when you look at the question, let's say based on grammar, you read the question, you look at the options, and you know it that very instant, whether you know the question or not. You cannot really sit and think of the rule while writing the mock. So even if you think that I have to sit and think of the rule, that question is not worth attempting. Because if you spend more than 1 minute on any question, you will not have time to even look at other parts of the paper. You will miss some questions. You will not get time to even look at those questions and probably those are easy questions. So make sure that you focus after writing 1, 2, or 3 mocks. Make sure that you notice how much time you're spending on a particular question or a particular topic so that you can work on certain strategies. See, reading comprehension based questions, para-jumble, para-completion based questions will need time. You'll have to read, you'll have to think, you'll have to arrange your thoughts, and then you'll mark the answer. That means you have to focus on reducing the time that you spend on, let's say, vocab and grammar based questions, because those essentially depend on your preparation. If your preparation is good, you'll be able to attempt these. If your preparation is not good, you'll probably won't know, or probably your smart work will help. But whatever it is, whether preparation, smart work, or combination of both, you have to monitor the time you're spending on each question, and that is one important aspect of analysis. Make sure you notice how much time you're spending. Is the question worth the kind of time that you spent on that question, even if you got the answer right? Think about it, it's very important. Then you need to look at the right and the wrong answers. Now, what do we mean by that? Of course, that's what you do when you analyze a mock. Now, let's say some of your questions were right and you feel happy that okay, I've got the answer right. But how do you know that you were thinking logically while marking the answer and it was not just a fluke? So when you analyze the mock, uh, pay attention to even the right answers. See if your logic and the logic for the answer generally provided as a solution is matching or not. And especially, so that's one. And the ones that go wrong, more than the answer, you should focus on the conceptual knowledge of why your answer was not right. And you should make a note, work on that concept before you attempt your next mock. See, that is the motive of analyzing a mock, that you understand your mistakes, that you understand what your weaknesses are, and you work on them. So, if you keep repeating the mistakes, if you do not analyze them, if you do not work on them, what's the point of writing a mock or even analyzing it if you're not improving on those areas? So, evaluate both the right and wrong answers. In case of right answer, you should know that your logic matches the logic of the answer. And in case of wrong answer, understand the concept, make a note of it, make sure that before you write the next mock, you work on improving that concept. Make a note of your doubts. Now, see, if you've critically analyzed your mock, you will have a lot of doubts. You will have a lot of doubts. So make a note of these doubts so that you know that you can, chart your next course of action. And then it's important to have these doubts clarified. Now, I guess that's the purpose of doing this entire exercise, right? That you have your doubts clarified. So whether you approach your mentors or you read the books or do something to, or maybe work on your own to have the answers of the mistakes that you made. That's the entire idea of writing the mocks or even analyzing them, isn't it? So I guess that's it. That's all from your side, from my side. These are very simple tips, but they will take you a long way. So make sure that you incorporate small little things in your preparation. They will help you do wonders and you will be able to secure your seat. So if you have any doubts, any comments, make sure that you mention them in the comment section below. Stay connected. Take care. Bye bye.